What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today we're taking a look at Urshifu VMAX Cinccino, a very strong and tactical standard format deck. This deck focuses on Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX from Battle Styles and pairs it with a very good support Pokemon Cinccino from the Sword and Shield base set. After the deck profile, I'll roll some gameplay from a recent live stream of mine, and if you aren't already following me over on Twitch, that is where I stream live and I play a ton of Pokemon TCG, so be sure to follow me over there. Before we get into the deck profile, shout out to PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes, and be sure to use code Celio for 5% off. Also consider subscribing to this channel for daily Pokemon TCG content if you enjoyed the video. There are many useful Pokemon in this deck and a lot of different cards for us to look at today, but let's start with the star of the show, which is Urshifu VMAX, and we can't get to Urshifu VMAX without Urshifu V. So there are 3 Rapid Strike Urshifu V in this deck. It has 2 decent attacks, and also it's pretty bulky at 220 HP on a basic Pokemon. The first attack, Strafe, for 1 fighting energy, does 30 damage, and then you may switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. This is good for a couple of reasons. One, if you don't want Urshifu V left out there to be hit by your opponent next turn, you can switch it to the bench. And another reason is that Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX needs to move from the bench to the active spot for the full effect of Gale Thrust, which we'll look at in just a moment. So it's good to get Urshifu V onto the bench. The second attack, 100 Furious Blows for fighting colorless, does 150 damage, and it's worth noting that Rapid Strike Energy provides Urshifu V with 2 of those required 3 energy to do the attack, so essentially you can use this for just 2 energy attachments and can knock out a fair bit of fighting weak Pokemon that are popular, like Boltund V, Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team, and Eternatus V. Next, we'll look at our main Pokemon and what the deck is all focused around, which is Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX has 330 HP, and it has 2 very good attacks. The first attack is Gale Thrust for a single fighting energy. It does 30 damage plus. If this Pokemon moved from your bench to the active spot during this turn, this attack does 120 more damage. So you do have to evolve Urshifu V into Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX before switching it to the active. Do note that. And once Urshifu VMAX is on the board, it just has to be on the bench at some point and then move to the active spot at some point during the turn. It could be in the active, then to the bench, then to the active, or simply start out on the bench and move into the active for that full effect to do 150 damage for just 1 energy, which is really great. Again, fighting type is a very good typing right now in the Pokemon trading card game because we're hitting a lot of important Pokemon for weakness. Dedenne-GX and Crobat V are 2 I did not mention before, and they are very popular support Pokemon that will typically be on a lot of opponents' benches. So just Gale Thrust for 1 energy if Urshifu VMAX came from the bench to the active, and then bring up a Crobat or a Dedenne with Boss's Orders, allows you to just take really simple knockouts with this Pokemon. The second attack, G-Max Rapid Flow for fighting colorless, is really neat. I love this attack a lot. Discard all energy from this Pokemon, and this attack does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So you get to choose what 2 Pokemon you're dealing 120 damage to at the cost of discarding all energy attached to this Pokemon. Again, G-Max Rapid Flow can be used for just 2 energy attachments, a Rapid Strike energy and then 1 other energy. So this is a pretty efficient attack, and it allows you to spread damage to another Pokemon potentially if 120 damage will knock out your main target, or you can even set up damage on 2 Pokemon that you're not knocking out just yet, but to knock them out later on, potentially with another G-Max Rapid Flow or a couple of Gale Thrusts. You'll notice in this deck that there are a lot of options to move Urshifu VMAX in and out of the active position to help us with that Gale Thrust damage. Our main support Pokemon to draw cards is going to be Cinccino. We play 3 Minccino and then 3 Cinccino. The Minccino are mostly there just to evolve into Cinccino, but there are 2 different ones. Tord played 1 of the Tail Whap Minccino, which does 30 damage for a single energy, and then also 2 of the Minccino with Glance. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck. Now, this Minccino has 70 HP, and this one only has 60. So typically, this one's going to be a little bit safer on your bench or in the active position, but that Tail Whap 30 for 1 energy is an option if at any point that could be pivotal to your game plan. Cinccino is a stage 1 non-rule box Pokemon, and it has the ability Make Do. You must discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw 2 cards. So more simply put, you discard any card from your hand and then draw 2 cards. If you set up 3 Cinccinos, you can use this ability 3 times, essentially drawing 6 extra cards in a turn. The attack energy assist is pretty useful sometimes, but it's obviously not our main attack as it's only doing a little bit of damage compared to Urshifu. But energy assist for 1 colorless energy does 40 damage, and then you can attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So if you're in a pinch to get back fighting energy, you could always like attach a capture energy to the Cinccino, and then energy assist for 40 to get a basic fighting from the discard to one of your Urshifus. Again, not your ideal attack. You're not really trying to use this attack, but it is an option. There are some Urshifu VMAX lists that do not play Cinccino, and they just focus on Jirachi and or Snorlax. This deck is still playing 1 Jirachi and 1 Snorlax, which are both great support Pokemon, and they are useful in their own ways at different points. Jirachi has the Stellar Wish ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may look at the top 5 cards of your deck and get a trainer from those 5 cards, then put the rest back and shuffle your deck. This is a very strong ability, and sometimes on turn 1, you might need to get something to get going, and Cinccino cannot come out onto the board until turn 2 at the earliest because it has to evolve. So you can like capture energy out a Jirachi and then retreat into it, the Stellar Wish, maybe get a supporter or the quick ball you need to grab the Dedenne or something like that, and Jirachi can be useful at some points. It can also be useful in the mid and late game because you can send it into the active to Stellar Wish and then switch out or scoop up net. The other support Pokemon I mentioned, we have Snorlax with the ability Gourmandize, which is very, very strong, especially on the first turn. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in the active spot, you may draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand. If you use this ability, your turn ends. So this is ending your turn. You don't typically want to be using this ability in the mid to late game, although there are some instances when that is ideal. Gourmandize is going to help you fill up your hand after you play out your initial hand. So if you play Quick Ball for Minccino and then Quick Ball for Urshifu V and then attach a capture energy to Urshifu V to get out Snorlax and then scoop up net, which whatever was in the active, put Snorlax to the active, play it down. Your hand's going to be very small after all of those actions. And then Gourmandize can draw you up to 7 new cards and end your turn. And if you're going first, you weren't going to attack or do anything to end your turn anyway. So this is kind of like a free ability drawing you those cards with that drawback of ending your turn that you don't really care about on the first turn. So Snorlax is a very, very good support Pokemon. Don't sleep on Snorlax. Another great Pokemon that allows us to draw cards in this deck is the Dedenne-GX. Dedenne has the ability Dedenne Change that reads, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You cannot use more than one of these abilities per turn. So discard your hand, draw 6 is very strong. We are not playing Professor's Research in this deck, which is discard your hand, draw 7. Because we typically want to be building up a nice sized hand with Make Do, but the Dedenne-GX can give you that extra draw power when you need it, either in the early turns when you have a pretty rough start, or in the late game when you're digging for a specific card you need, like Boss's Orders or Cheryl, and you can use the Dedenne-GX and then maybe a couple of Make Do's and maybe even a Stellar Wish, and just use multiple different abilities to try to draw into everything you need and draw as many cards as possible. So the Dedenne-GX is useful to have around for that, but you don't always play the Dedenne-GX down every single game. A lot of times it's useful to just hold on to it so it's not a liability on your board. Galarian Zigzagoon has the Headbutt Tantrum ability, which is very simple. When you play it from your hand to your bench, you can put a damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is just a very nice way to modify damage. A popular example is against Victini VMAX, which has 310 HP. If you use Gale Thrust twice, you'll do 300 total damage to Victini VMAX and it will be left with 10 HP. So Galarian Zigzagoon can clean up that knockout and you can take 3 prizes in the middle of your turn with Headbutt Tantrum. Scoop Up Net allows you to reuse Galarian Zigzagoon, so even against something like Centiskorch VMAX, which has 320 HP, the same still stands and you can just add in a Scoop Up Net to do that extra 10 damage. Giratina from Unified Minds is another great user of Scoop Up Net. It has the ability Dimension Breach. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. There are a lot of special energies going around, like Aurora Energy, Rapid Strike Energy, Capture Energy, and Hiding Energy, so Giratina will get a lot of use in a lot of matchups. Our last Scoop Up Net user here is Mewtwo with Mind Report. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may put a supporter card from your discard pile on top of your deck. This card pairs wonderfully with Jirachi and also with Cinccino. Since you can put that supporter card you need this turn on top of your deck from your discard, and then draw into it with either Make Do or Stellar Wish. Mew with Bench Barrier is very good against the mirror match, which means when you're playing against another Urshifu VMAX deck, because this protects your bench from their Gmax Rapid Flows. Side Power puts 3 damage counters on anything, so once in a blue moon that will be useful to you, but typically it's here to protect your bench from attacks that do damage to the bench, like Gmax Rapid Flow. And lastly, for the Pokemon, we have Mimikyu with Shadow Box. This ability reads, Pokemon GX that have any damage counters on them have no abilities. Now, this will not be affecting us, but it is very good versus Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX decks, because Urshifu VMAX is weak to Psychic Pokemon, which Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team is. So Mimikyu can shut off the Perfection ability if we just damage Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team at all. So we can just use Headbutt Tantrum to damage them, or even an attack, Cinccino, Urshifu, whatever it is, just put damage on the Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team. And then Shadow Box says that that Pokemon has no abilities. Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX most of the time will not be able to do anything without its Perfection ability. Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team does have 1 attack, but it needs 2 Psychic and a Colorless, and it's its GX attack, so it can only do it once. Other than that, all the attacks it will use are from its ability Perfection, so Mimikyu just really shuts it down if they aren't playing Stealthy Hood, if they can't find the Stealthy Hood, and if they can't heal their Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team. So that's it for the Pokemon. Let's take a look at the trainers. Like I said, we are playing no Professor's Research in this deck, and our main draw support, in addition to our Cinccino line, Jirachi, Snorlax, and Dedenne-GX, is going to be Bird Keeper and Marnie. So this deck plays 3 Bird Keeper, which is a supporter card that reads, switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, and if you do, draw 3 cards. Now this might not seem like a lot, but switching is very important, and it also doubles as a switch while being a supporter that draws cards. It kind of does 2 in 1 in just one spot in the deck. So it takes up less deck space than playing switches and Professor's Research, but it's also good to not discard your hand. You get to keep your hand and draw 3 cards, and then maybe use like 3 Make Do's to draw 6 more cards and build a nice hand with a lot of options in it. Next we have Marnie. Each player shuffles their hand and then puts it on the bottom of their deck. You draw 5 and your opponent draws 4. This can be a good consistency card for you, but it can also disrupt your opponent, so it's nice that it doubles as that. We have 2 Boss's Orders. Now it's only playing 2, although Boss's Orders is a very strong card. We are playing Mind Report Mewtwo, which can get back our supporters. Boss's Orders switches one of your opponent's benched Pokemon with their active Pokemon, so you can bring up a weaker Pokemon or a strong Pokemon that you want to start damaging from their bench into the active spot where you can hit it more easily. Cheryl is a very awesome supporter card that reads, heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon. If you do, discard all energy from the Pokemon that were healed in this way. So the nice thing about Cheryl is if you use Gmax Rapid Flow and discard all energy attached to Urshifu, and then it gets hit, you can use Cheryl for really no penalty, just to fully heal your Urshifu VMAX that already had no energy on it. Sometimes you will use Cheryl when you do have energy on and you have to discard those energy as a cost. A lot of times it's nice that you can retreat and then heal with Cheryl, and then maybe Scoop Up Net the active out attached to Urshifu VMAX, and you have a clean Urshifu VMAX hitting for max damage again in the active spot. So I really love Cheryl in this deck. And the last supporter is Phoebe, which reads, during this turn, damage from your Pokemon VMAX's attacks isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So that means that your Gale Thrust and Gmax Rapid Flow can hit your opponent's active Pokemon no matter what. Decidueye from Darkness Ablaze has an ability that prevents damage from VMAXs, and Zamazenta V also has an ability that prevents damage from VMAXs. So both of these attacks can go through both of those Pokemon if you can play Phoebe that turn. And if you can play Phoebe multiple times, thanks to Mewtwo's Mind Report, you can get through annoying decks that are trying to just wall you off with Decidueye or Zamazenta. For the Pokemon search, we have 4 Quick Ball. You discard a card from your hand and search your deck for any basic Pokemon. We have 4 Pokemon Communication. Put a Pokemon from your hand back into your deck and then get any Pokemon. And then we have Level Ball. Search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. So Level Ball really just works for the Cinccino line, Jirachi, Mew, Zigzagoon, and Mimikyu. So it's not getting your attackers and it's not getting some of the other tech Pokemon, but it is quite good to consistently get out your Mincinos and then your Cinccinos to evolve. Reset Stamp is a card that allows you to have a really strong comeback if your opponent takes a lot of prize cards before you do and it disrupts their hand. It reads your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So if your opponent has taken 3, 4, or 5 prize cards, let's say 5, you can reset stamp them and then they shuffle their hand into their deck and only draw a single card, leaving them with just that card and whatever card they draw next turn. So this can be great if you get a slow start or if your opponent is very aggressive against you, and then you can try to come back with this card. So this is a really strong card to have, and having something like Cinccino as your draw engine means you just get to dig for more cards and draw more cards every turn and have more options like Reset Stamp, like Cheryl, like Phoebe. So this deck really thrives off having multiple options each turn. A card I've mentioned multiple times already throughout this video is Scoop Up Net, which can pick up any Pokemon that is not a V or GX, and then you discard all cards attached to it. So it lets you essentially reuse abilities like Headbutt Tantrum on Zigzagoon and Dimension Breach on Giratina. Lastly, for the trainer cards, we have 2 tool cards, the first being Air Balloon, which we have 3 copies of in the deck, and this gives the retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to colorless less. So it makes the retreat cost of all Pokemon in our deck, aside from Snorlax, 0 retreat. So essentially we can have free retreat on any Pokemon we want as long as we attach Air Balloon to it. The other tool is Karate Belt, which reads if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to cost fighting energy less. So this means that Gale Thrust is a free attack with Karate Belt on given the right circumstances, and Gmax Rapid Flow would only cost a single Rapid Strike energy to be attached alongside Karate Belt. And now that we are done with the Pokemon and trainers, onto the energy. We are playing 4 Rapid Strike energy, which can only be attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon, and it provides 2 energy in any combination of water and fighting. So for this deck, it provides 2 fighting energy. It's always providing fighting and water, but we'll never need it to provide water. So essentially treat it as a double fighting energy on 1 card for this deck for Rapid Strike Pokemon. This deck also plays 4 Capture Energy, which is a very awesome energy card. It provides a colorless energy, and when you attach it from hand to a Pokemon, you can search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. So essentially you get your energy attachment and you get to search out a free basic Pokemon for turns. So that's really cool. And then finishing it off with 2 copies of basic fighting energy. So that is the 60 card list. We're going to roll some gameplay from a recent live stream. Like I mentioned, check out my twitch.tv/Celios Network, and follow me over there so you know when I'm going live with PTCGO content. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for daily Pokemon TCG content, and enjoy the gameplay. Oh, yo, it's a mirror match. Nice. Very nice, very nice. Let's grab ourselves a Minccino. This list doesn't play Dojo, but that's why that was the issue I had with it. Bench, attach, play Bird Keeper. No, Bird Keeper and the Lax isn't even worth it because I might not even draw cards with Lax, so this is just better. Bench that. Get rid of that. Get the Urshifu. Like Pikarom, it just takes advantage of the template of the format. Maybe not the template, but like the patterns, like the norms of the format. Like it just does so well when your opponent has 3 prize Pokemon, because you just purposely fall behind and then you set up one for the knockout and then you stamp knockout, stamp paralyze. Like the formula that Pikarom is able to carry out in most cases just works very well for what the format looks like. We can save the Mewtwo here with Pokécom, because we can get back Cheryl later with it, so we'll just do this. Get that off the board. Nice. So this way their rapid flow could only knock out 1 in this case. But if I bench 2 more Minccino, then they would take extra prize. Let's do this. I don't know if this was all correct, but we'll be finding out soon. If when, how many reset stamps you should play. Like in your deck list. Wait, does this deck play Mew? Could I have gotten a Mew? I hope this deck doesn't play Mew. Did I make an oopsie whoopsie? Oh, good. They didn't. They're drawing poorly, so it doesn't matter. Toward deck. Towards deck. Oh, it has Mew. I could have gotten a Mew all this time. That was bad. That was very bad. use prized. Not bad at all. Fairy, are you talking about how many I would play in a list? Or like at what points in the game? Okay, so like take a deck like Pikarom, it wants to go behind, and there's instances in the game. It comes down to, do you, okay, so reset stamp, if your deck falls behind, is reset stamp going to make you win, or is it just going to make you lose better? You have to think about that. And also when you're making plays, you have to think, am I playing to win, or am I playing to just get a closer loss? Like, because sometimes you'll take safer plays that will never result in a win just to not get like blown out of the water. So with a deck like Pikarom, there are times when you only use one stamp, but it's so necessary to your game plan to use it, so you want to play two. Whereas a deck like Urshifu, there's not like a super necessary pivotal point in the game where like, oh yeah, this is where you play reset stamp every single time at this point of the Urshifu formula, you know, like there is with Pika. So some Urshifu decks play one stamp, some play two. I think it's just bad spurts of luck, Doiner. Like, PTCGO is true random, whereas in real life, some people just don't randomize their cards well enough. But yeah, PTCGO is true random, so you'll get more, like, instances of, like, more unbelievable bad luck or more unbelievable good luck when you have true random happening. So I put the Cheryl on top of the deck with the Mewtwo there. And then I need to draw into an energy off of Mimikyu. But if I don't draw into an energy off of Mimikyu, I could always use Cinccino's attack energy assist to get in some damage and get an energy back. All I would need for that is to then also get something that I can retreat with. So the good news is we can find out before we Cheryl. So we can make do and see what we get and what we can work with here. We got an energy. Now what does that do for me? We could attach energy. We still, the retreat is what we need, like the balloon or the switch or whatever. So I think we attach here, retreat. Yeah. Because that also helps out the math. This energy assist helps out our math. Because we wouldn't knock this out anyway. So 40, boom. And we'll put an energy here. So that's why I attached the capture energy last turn to Cinccino in case you missed it. Because that capture energy was never going to help me on one of these, and I had already planned for the Cheryl for this turn with Mewtwo. This is a pretty odd board for this deck. But that play definitely made me like Mewtwo better than Palpad. I wanted Palpad for a Cinccino build because of it gives you more bench space. Sometimes you don't have the room for Mewtwo, but it worked out. I also had to dump that Cheryl early, and I was fortunate enough to have Pokecom in my hand to put Mewtwo back into the deck. So I could save the Mewtwo for this situation. So let's see what they can do here. Oh, Gale Thrust. Okay, no Rapid Flow. But I don't have Cinccino set up, and they do have Cinccino set up. God, I've been obliterating their energy this game. The cons to bossing Mew, I didn't have something to knock it out with because I needed to be able to switch. That was the only thing. Because if I knocked out Mew, then I could knock out no, I couldn't. So no, there wasn't a reason to knock out Mew. I think if I boss Mew, I have to do just as much work as if I don't boss Mew. So if I was bossing anything, it was boss knock out the Urshifu before they can heal it. They might... Oh, okay, they're gonna bring this up. And boss. Okay. Bring this up. Goon ping scoop. No, that's not enough. We can just take the knockout here in the active, and I'm already down 3 scoop ups, I think. I'm down all 4 scoop ups, so I won't be using Zigzagoon for anything. They want to be able to Cheryl here. Oh, they're down Cheryl, so they'll have to Mewtwo and then draw with Cinccino. Yeah, I cannot Cheryl anymore. That's my weakness here. They have Mewtwo and 1 scoop up net left. I attached Rapid Strike to the active one that I would be attacking with because I wanted to have it as like a safety net for retreating, but it also gives the risk of them knocking it off with Tina. But if they were to knock it off with Tina, that probably means they're not playing Mewtwo down. There's Mewtwo. There's the Cheryl. Okay. Oh, but wait, they don't have... What? Oh, they already used both of their make dues. Oh, that's upsetting. Or did they already support her? No, they didn't support her, I don't think. Did they? No, they didn't support her. They used both make dues. Oh. That sucks. That was a good game. It's so nice to have close games like that on the ladder. I don't know what I'm playing for PC for though. It's far away. Inteleor. With the Inteleon VMAX League Battle Deck box. Tempozar and Victini are great, but they have unfavoreds versus Pika, which is why I don't really want to play it. But, you know, not everyone's a fan of Pika. It's all about it's a numbers game. Like, what will most people play? So you give yourself the odds to play against better matchups. Jirachi there instead of Cinccino. Or instead of Minccino. Worst decks I've seen online? I mean, every now and again you come up against somebody that's like not playing a competitive deck, you know, but I mean, even at regional championships and international championships, you'll come up against people that I guess you could say aren't playing very competitive decks, or they're not playing meta decks. But it works out for them sometimes. Like a few years ago at Collinsville Regionals in Expanded, I was playing Hitmonchan Wob. And Hitmonchan Wob did very little damage, but it hit Zoroark and Pikarom for weakness and locked abilities. So it was good against other single prizers, it was good against fighting weak stuff, and it was good against ability reliant decks, so it was like pretty strong. And I played against a girl playing a Dedenne-GX Garbodor deck, that's like not a thing, but she was also playing multiple Acerolas, so she would just item lock me and special energy lock with Dedenne-GX, and then once I finally got it close enough to being knocked out, Acerola. We ended up tying, but like that's an example of like a very non-competitive deck that like she was at a decent record and we ended up tying, and I ended up getting points at that regionals. So like a deck that if you showed it to me, I would say that's not a deck, like that's not a meta deck, but just because things aren't meta doesn't mean they can't be good or they can't do well. Like meta are the things that are intrinsically good, like without circumstances being involved. This is bad. Not good. Oh, what do you think of Senti Control? It's interesting. I mean, it caught people off guard for that one tournament, I'm sure. I played around a little bit with it. It seems decent. Like if you're a Control fan, it doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world to pick up and play. But I don't expect it to be popular or even played at all for Players Cup 4 Top 256, and that's like the only thing that matters in this format still. So What's your pick for next format? Oh, I couldn't even tell you. Oh, like with Chilling Reign? With Chilling Reign. So I've said this a lot. I think Calyrex Trevnor with Path to the Peak playing like Zoro Garb. Even if I didn't think that was the best deck, it would very much interest me because it feels like it looks like Zoro Garb at the very least. I do think that deck's going to be great. So probably either that or something that beats it. Shadow Rider with Alchemy looks like it'll be a lot of fun. And I think it has potential. I don't think it'll be one of the best decks because it seems like a run hot, like, kind of deck. Like, you want to just get everything together and have a big burst amount of damage. But it looks fun and it looks like fine for tournament play. As long as its weakness doesn't hold it back too much. Like a combination of Metal Weak and Dark Weak. So you're weak to like 2 very strong Pokemon, but I feel like there's a lot of strong Pokemon of most types coming in the new format. Like in post-rotation. And the new format, I guess. I don't believe there's a great dark attacker to play in rapid decks, right? Like rapid strike decks just don't have a dark attacker. Okay. Oh, they tool scrappered me. Okay, this deck is kind of this is looking like League Battle deck with some upgrades. Maybe. Oh yeah, because they've got the Shinings. I should have noticed that. Just attach 7 with Morgan. Cartana, put that deck in the Discord. Like in one of the deck list channels. That could be something fun to play. Max Rarity League Battle, for real. Yo, what's up, Sleepy Dreepy? Ironic that I yawned. Want to try some Rapidash Dusknoir in Expanded? Yeah, I mean, Rapidash has DCE and Expanded. So you could Rapidash a couple things, but Expanded also has AZ and Acerola and Max Pot. What are these draws? They're really they're really not letting me do much here. And like I'm just not getting switches or supporters. They tool scrappered my balloon. That one hurt. That hurted. Kecleon can technically be dark type. Kecleon. This is true. Oh my god, I'm drawing so many cards. And none of them are cards I want.
Whatever you say.
Rilla.
Boomer. Okay.
Rilla.
Boomer. Yeah, boomer. Whatever you say.
Everyone throwing Kecleon in your deck to outer win Shadow Rider.
Everyone throwing Kecleon. Thanks for the 7 months, Sleepy Droopy. I appreciate it. Mimikyu. It's definitely possible your opponent didn't know what that was. Sometimes people just don't want to read the card. Alright, we gotta get switches now, right? Scoop up that. Oh my goodness. And my Mewtwo's prize, so I can't get Bird Keeper. Hey Fairy, we're doing well. It's a chill evening so far. We've been in this grindy match versus Inteleon VMAX. Alright, I'll check it out, Cartana. Thank you. Hey, Sonny, my man. course. Okay, more energy. This has been a crazy game. Where are my switching cards? Where are like that tool scrapper? When they scrapped the balloon, that really did me in. Now my room is clean as a whistle, Sonny. Okay, so here's the dealio. Do a little bit of this. A little bit of this. Go into that. Where are my switching cards a big problem? Yeah, I mean, it can be a big problem. Not a big problem. I mean, most decks don't run Tool Scrapper, so once your balloon's down, you're good to go. So the Scrapper sucked for me. And my Mewtwo's prized, so I can't just go and grab back my my Bird Keeper. This is crazy though, that they've Hydro Sniped me for so long. Balloon's one of the bottom two cards. Okay. Sure it is. Son, you gotta stop forgetting about your jobs. I don't know what to tell you, mate. Oh, yeah? You threw your first perp into Twitch jail? I don't know how I've never watched Pokemon's unban request streams. They are so good. I watched one last week or something where she just read like all of the people sending unban requests. It was very good. Okay, so they didn't go with the Hydra Snipe this time. Yeah, why not go with Hydra Snipe there? They definitely should have. Like, now's good a time as any to go for Hydra Snipe. All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, my opponent should have Hydra sniped there. They were doing so well. I saw it, Sonny. Doesn't surprise me that that happened on Twitch. I feel like she doesn't get too many creeps though, so that's good.
Whatever you say.
Rilla.
Okay.
Hey, looking for
Rilla.
Larry with 23 months of Prime. 23 flippin' months of Twitch Prime, don't you know? Straight to the network. Switching to Smash. Hey, you do you, Cartana. You do whatever makes you happy, man. Galarian Pony. The Rapidizzle. It would be quite unfortunate for me if they Rapidizzled my Urshifu here. Are you gonna do any discussion videos for post-rotation? Yeah, absolutely. When it's closer. It's too far away right now. But I mean, when we're looking at Ho-Ho news decks like every night lately on stream, and like a lot of those are very close to being post-rotation, but we don't even know what our next set is after Chilling Reign. So it's hard to do post-rotation yet. You know, I don't like to do things too far ahead of time. All right, the opponent, what I'm seeing here, they did not get Welder, and that is good. Yeah, Evolving Skies, but what's in Evolving Skies, chat? Can anybody tell me? Do you have a set list? No. We know Rayquaza VMAX and Duraludon VMAX probably. But we don't know what they do. Oh my god, I meant to click. Oh, I meant to click Urshifu VMAX. Chat, how close was my cursor? Give me the instant replay here. Oh, that's painful. Oh, the misclick pain. Honestly, that's just as bad as a real-life misplay. Like, just making an egregiously incorrect play in real life is just as bad as just clicking the wrong thing on PTCGO. Oh, that stinks. That stinks. It's not worth Cheryling here because oh my god. Yeah, I've dug myself into quite the hole. If you play bad, you're gonna feel bad. It feels bad, man. Walked right into my trap. Although it's not much of a trap if I don't have a switch. Oh, please. Please, Cinccino. Do it one time for the one time. What do I get rid of here? Stamp's the only thing I'm not using this turn. That doesn't do it. I'd say that's pretty good, actually. I'd say that play right there is pretty nifty. That's probably better than what I was going to do. Yo, what's up, PD? One average misclick per 10 days. That's not bad. Stamp's the only thing I'm not using. That's a lie, because Mewtwo. I definitely wasn't using Mewtwo that turn, but I knew I wasn't getting rid of Mewtwo. But yeah, there was a possible play where I end up using, where I'm using Bird Keeper, Cheryl, or Boss, so I didn't want to get rid of any of those. Should have used Mewtwo. Oh, yeah, I should have used Mewtwo to put Boss on the top. No, wait, no, that would be for Marnie, and this deck doesn't play Marnie. Victini decks typically don't play Marnie, I believe. All the "are you sure you want to" windows. Yeah, it's funny when somebody gets a demo account and then like you see them with those on like the Players Cup or something. Can we come back from that horrible misplay? Or misclick? Misclick. We never misplay here, just misclick, chat. Okay, the Cheryl does give us a shot here. The Cheryl's a fine backup plan if we don't get Boss. By the way, I threw away Zigzagoon just now and I needed that, so I won't be knocking out Victini for the game. That's for sure. I have 2 make dues next turn, we should be fine. Yeah, I just threw that Zigzagoon away like it was yesterday's news. Shouldn't you have Gormandized? Yeah. Yeah, I should have Gormandized. Yep, should have Gormed. I definitely should have Gormed. Because now they're going to knock me out. Oh, no, they're not. They only have 1 energy. Yeah, I played poorly all over the place this game. Okay, I'm listening. Oh, if I had boss and I drew, oh, if only I knew I was gonna draw into that, huh? All right, we'll fix the play now. Do I have any energy left? Yes. Yep. Wrong energy. Hey, there we go. That only took 4 turns longer than it should have.